this morning I got a message off a client saying, I'm packing the business in, I'm getting a job somewhere else, right? And this guy's been working with us now. We've been working with this guy for the last 4 weeks, and basically the complaint I had about him was that, why the fuck didn't you tell me things have got that bad in the business, right? Because they didn't seem that bad when we spoke, right? So I jumped on the phone. I'm like, listen, you cannot pack in your business right now. Just because you're feeling at a low point now, the only way that you will well and truly lose is if you quit. So you need to stay in the game. So while I was chatting to this particular client, I had a flashback from another client, right? And I just want to read out a little message, right? So on a Thursday, we have our clients check in with us, right? And we get a progress report of them for the week that was passed, right? And this popped into my head, right? Because this morning I seen a preview of an email that got sent last night from one of my clients, right? And I'm going to just read this one out to you here, right? Hi Joe, business is going well. I'm now out of the survival zone and I have 4 months of work in the pipeline. The maintenance contracts have increased to the point I can't fit them all in on Saturdays and longer, so I'm moving them into the weekdays. Limited company status in place, which brings an end to the partnership, right? So this email was sent late last night. Today is actually the 4th of May, right? But what was particularly remarkable about this email was that on the 1st of March, hi Joe, this was the check-in then. Business is very slow and I'm living day to day on anything we can get. Not really sure what I should be doing as part of the 52 steps now. That's my business program to work on on my business development. Any guidance will be appreciated, right? So this was a guy who had not actually got the result that I wanted him to get on the program after a couple of months, but I knew he should be getting it, right? So we jumped on the phone, had a few chats, got things back on track, right? And when he sent me that email today, I was like, lovely. So I've got like about 100 emails there and I have to read them all now later on and see how my clients are getting on. That just stuck in my head because of how far he came in a short space of time. And this guy is this client is a guy called Scott D. Renwick. Never met the guy before, but a very nice guy, right? What is particularly remarkable to me about Scott is that regardless of what was going against him in the business, he never complained. He was like, that's not working, what can I do, you know? And I was like, listen, have faith, trust in the process. So this is what we're going to do. I'm going to drive out to Scott now. I messaged him, see where he was. I said, listen, can I pop out and have a little chat with you? Going to go out to him. We're going to make this little video for him. We're going to post it on my page. We're going to hopefully get a little bit of business, and we're going to make sure that he knows we've got maximum respect for what he's doing. And I've got maximum respect for anybody who stays in the good fight, even when it doesn't make sense to stick in the good fight, because you have only failed if you quit. And let's be honest, if you give up, you've quit, and you're a quitter. We don't want to be a quitter, right? So we're going to go out here, have a little chat with Scott. We get him to jump in the Jeep, we make a little video, have a bit of crack, and show him an appreciation for what he's managed to do with the business over the last few months. And he's not out of the woods just yet. He's still a lot to do, but you know what, I think we need to give a bit of credit where credit's due, you know. On the other hand, I've got this other client now that's still on the fence about packing in the business. So I have to put his business on intensive care with him over the next few days. So we'll see, can we get him out of that hole, or we'll see, will he forever be a quitter, which we don't want that to be the case at all, you know. Say hello to Scott. Actually, this is the first time we've met, even though I feel like I know you a lot longer than that, you know.
A couple of calls, but this is the first actual physical interaction.
Yeah. So what I said there, Scott, before I made a little video before we were coming out there. Saying,
oh, did you?
Yeah, I was just a little intro there, just saying like, you know, I wanted to go out and meet you and say fair play to you. For what you're after doing, like, you know, look, you're not out of the woods yet. There's still a lot to go.
Yeah.
But the fact that, like, I actually had a call today with a guy who was basically, he just started a couple of weeks ago and he's packing it in, packing the business in. I'm like, oh yeah, can't pack it in, man. Like, once you pack it, and I just remember chatting to you, and then you sent us that email saying, listen, we're actually day to day at the minute. We've got no work, we need to do something, and but you've never complained.
I tried not to. I felt a bit sorry for myself, but I kept on going. That's the main thing, you know? Yeah. No, didn't complain. No.
There's no point, you know. Just get on with it. You know.
Just gonna listen.
Yeah. Fair point. You know. So what's going on? Well, we may as well tell the lads straight out. Tell about the new arrival. That's.
Oh yeah. Well, I've had 3 new additions. I've had triplets. and they were born on St. Patrick's Day. So we got 2 boys and a girl, and their names are Alexander and Antonio, Logan Francesco, and Elizabeth Maria.
Wow.
They have all the Italian middle names because my partner Monica, she's Italian.
I didn't know that, man. That's good.
Yeah.
Do you speak Italian?
I don't, no.
The kids will, but will they?
I hope they do. It's always good to have 2 languages. Good for
absolutely. I'd say it's just madness. Like, I'd be trying to get the baby out the door.
Yeah.
And one 3-year-old out the door.
Yeah.
And she just plays me completely, like.
Honestly, like, it's great. The whole having the baby thing is great. It's a new experience for me. The hardest thing, without doubt, is the 2 a.m. feeds. I'm like a zombie. Like, I wake up at 2 a.m. and my body's awake, but my brain is still not awake. Like, and the stuff, like, nothing makes sense. Like, I can't.
It's like you're drunk or something. Like, yeah.
Sometimes I get up and I'm fine, but a lot of the times I can't function, and it drives Monica berserk. She can't handle it.
It's definitely not a 2-person job. Like, you need
another,
another 2 parents there.
Yeah, it's tough now.
How long does it take to do a feed?
A good feed for 3 of them with 2 of us is like 30 minutes, but it can go to an hour and 30 minutes.
You have to change the nappy and all that.
Yeah, and sometimes you have to change it nice. We have to change 168 nappies a week, and that's a minimum count. So there could be some doubles there, but 168 nappies. So I need business to go very well. Yeah,
man, that's savage. But just think of the crack, think of the good banter that you're gonna have there forever. Like,
oh look, it's already good banter.
Yeah.
It's just the 2 a.m. feeds. Once I get over that hump, once now I'm feeding maybe 3 hours, right? So once that goes to every like 4 hours or something, that would be difference now. But
does Monica have any family here? Like?
She has her son, and they're kind of relatives from her accessory. Her husband is 16. His name's Joe, and Joe actually does a bit of work with me now.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Which is fairly impressive for a 16-year-old by today's standards.
He's a Joe, but that's what can you say, you know?
Well, it's short for Giuseppe.
Right, yeah, very good, yeah. We're fair play. So on the business side, because obviously that's what it doesn't take much to make me talk about babies nowadays. Whereas it's something I never spoke about before, like until Arlie arrived, and now like you're just it seems to be the default. Yeah. Like I was out running with my buddy there the other day, and we just talk about all sorts of mad stuff. And ever since he had a baby, then last year, that's all the chat, you know. But the business. So, we're out here now on where are we? South side of Dublin. Yeah. What's a typical job that you're doing, or?
We're doing a job at the moment that's not typical at all. It's the biggest job we've ever taken on, and honestly we wouldn't have taken it on if it wasn't for the fact we were so quiet. So like every cloud, you know, like it's much bigger than most jobs we take on are between 10 to 20,000. Right, so this job is about 90,000. So that's a massive step up for us. We've had to recruit and everything, but everything's gone really well so far. And I'm sure it will go well. It was just a bit daunting to take that step from the 10k jobs to the 90k jobs. That was a bit overwhelming because, you know, if something goes wrong in a 10k job, it's okay. I can handle it. I've got the bank balance there to cover myself. But if something goes wrong in a 90k job, well, that's a totally different scenario. So that was the kind of the hesitation. But talking to Joe then, Joe was saying, look Scott, you're quiet, so just bite the bullet and take it. And that kind of pushed me to take it then. I'm delighted I did, because honestly this could be kind of a game changer for our business. And I'll tell you why, because when you're doing the 10k jobs, 10, 20k, you're competing in the rat race with every Tom, Dick and Sally, right? And like, it's hard to compete in the rat race because it's all about cost. When you're competing at this level, you become more of a specialist, and you don't have to worry about all the people in the rat race because they don't stand a chance anyway. So that means you can price accordingly, and you can have more of a thriving business as opposed to just chasing your own tail, trying to compete with everyone else for these relatively smaller jobs. So we're excited to see where this one goes.
How long have you got left on that job?
Well, we just started it, so we've just got materials there and the skips and stuff, and We've just recruited 2 lads to complete the team to do that job, and that's going to be about a 6 to 8 week job. That's
Right.
what we estimate. Yeah.
Brilliant. So that's going to be classic. If you can just nail this, and it's at least the same level of profitability as your ordinary job,
Yeah.
at least, well, then you've got, like, you know, you're going from, just call it like 9k to 90k.
Yeah,
You've got
yeah.
10 times less administration.
Yeah.
So that would be the job that you'd be going after
Yeah.
from now on, like,
Yeah. Yeah.
which is good. And you wouldn't have done that had you been busy and content with
Exactly. Yeah.
just
So
smaller
like,
stuff.
you never know something. If you're in a bad situation or a good situation, you never know how it's going to turn out. Really.
Yeah, I remember a fella saying to me years ago, and it always kind of sticks in my head. He says, in most instances, your worst day is your best day,
Oh yeah.
because it forces you to do something. And I can
Yeah.
remember we had this really good employee before, and they used to look after a lot of stuff in the office for me, and they told me you were leaving, and like, they were literally with me from the start, and they didn't like the transition of me going from like kind of a small builder business to now wanting to take over the world.
Right,
They
right.
struggled to get their head around it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was literally sitting on the step outside the house,
Mm.
and I was saying to Linda, I don't know what I'm going to do here. I don't know how I'm going to replace this person.
Yeah.
And then I just thought, I'm going to give Paddy a show.
Yeah.
And Paddy's my number one man.
Yeah.
And it just happened. He was there all the time. He was my mate. We were chatting all the time. He was buying a couple of properties himself. I was helping him out with that. He was working in Scotland, and he was sick of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was there. The opportunity was there. We were a
Yeah.
perfect fit. And that's been a game changer for
Right,
our business.
yeah,
But I would have never thought of it, even though it was there.
Yeah.
And then he brought a whole new level of thinking to the business then as well, which is great, But you have to just kind of, you have to have the balls to go at it, And that's the.
You do. Having the balls is the right expression, because like your life is basically a reflection of the courage you have.
Yeah.
So if you're willing to take chances, like that's how your life's gonna evolve, I think.
Yeah.
But if you play it safe all the time and you're always in your comfort zone, well, you're never going to really advance anywhere.
Yeah, fair point. Although it is sometimes like when you're playing the whole game of entrepreneurship, like it's like running up a ladder and not realising how high you've gone up. When you look down, like, oh Jesus,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
it takes you a bit of time to get your act together,
Absolutely.
But no, it's all good. So this job is going to go on for 8 or 9 weeks. Where does
Yeah.
most of the work that you do? So we're going to put
It's
this out on the Facebook page. So where?
Yeah, mostly South Dublin, but
Right.
we are willing to go to about North Dublin as well, and even Wicklow, because like especially Wicklow actually, because Wicklow is somewhere I'm looking to move my family to, like, Wicklow. So we'll be more open to jobs coming in from that direction, but mostly 95% of our work is South Dublin, and we do the landscape construction, and we also do the landscape maintenance now as well, and that's a result of Joe here. He kind of pointed me in that direction, made me see the sense of doing that, and it does, from a business point of view, it makes a lot of sense to kind of go into the maintenance, because it's scalable
Yeah.
and it's more reliable throughout the year,
Yeah, it's a bit steady.
Yeah.
That big job that you got, did you get that directly from the client, or did you get it from an architect? Or
I got it from a building contractor. Yeah,
Right, so the builder didn't want to do that end of
exactly.
it.
And
It's too
he's
specialist, like, yeah.
yeah, he's been trying for ages to get a good landscaper, which it's really hard to find a good landscaper, because there's no such thing as a landscaper actually, but there's no qualification.
Right.
So there's not like landscapers are being churned out like plumbers or electricians or something. Anybody with a van is calling themselves a landscaper. So that's why the pool of quality is so diluted, because
Yes.
like anybody can do it, and that puts you in a position when you're starting out, you're competing with everybody,
A lot of the cash and hand merchants. or whatever
Exactly,
else,
you're
yeah.
competing with all those lads who aren't qualified, because the customer or the potential client generally isn't educated, and they think, oh, well, this guy's doing it for 4 and you're saying 6, I'm going to go with 4, because a garden's a garden at the end of the day. I priced one job for 4,000 or 5,000, and he called me on the phone and he said, Scott, I got another quote for €600. I was like, yeah, good luck, go with him, like.
Yeah.
But that's that's an extreme situation, but
Yeah.
that is what you're dealing
And
with as a landscaper.
what allowed for the difference between the two of them there?
The difference in the quotes,
Yeah.
I didn't see, because why would you? It was a quote given over the phone. He didn't even come out and look at the job.
Yeah,
like.
yeah.
He just
So
got
just
€600,
ballparking.
but like,
And did the job ever go ahead in the end?
it did. Yeah, I got it for the $5,000. Yeah.
Oh, you got the job?
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
right. But that's, I
Yeah.
suppose it's a great example of the likes of the it's a great example of the type of competitor you're dealing with. They're throwing
Yeah.
numbers and stuff like that without saying the job.
Exactly.
And a lot of lads
yeah.
throw a low number
Yeah.
to get out there, and then all of a
Yeah.
sudden the job's getting boosted up all the time. Like,
Absolutely, that happens. So I'll just say as well, we'll have the opportunity. In the last year, myself and my business partner Seán, we've had to redo like 4 patios in the last year. That's patios that were done by like other, professionals. And when I say redo them, I don't just mean fix them up. I mean rip them up completely and relay them from scratch. So you have cases where people spent 12 grand on the patio and they've had to redo it from scratch. It's obviously more to redo it because you have to
take it
demolish
out,
it
yeah.
first and then do it again. So that happens regularly in landscaping because it's just not a protected profession in any way, shape or form.
and what was the cause? It was just cobbles and pavements just laid incorrectly, was it?
They didn't use any hardcore. It was like
Right.
they didn't know what the level was.
Oh jeez.
The sand and cement mix they used was just crumbling.
Right.
There's no quality to it, and the drainage and how the drains were finished was all over the place. And I'll add, this wasn't just anybody. This was actually a landscape company that you'll see on the road.
Right,
Right?
yeah.
So even when they look professional, they may not actually
Yeah.
be professional. Like.
Need to be. So how do you think that somebody can protect themselves against that?
You,
Well, obviously you can get you to do the job. That's the first thing,
that's
right?
the first thing. Get
Yeah.
SAS Landscapes. But how they protect themselves, I think the number one thing you can do as a potential client is not just ask them for references, but ask them, can you go out and see one of their jobs? And if
Yeah.
they're willing to do that, if they're willing to connect you with a past client, which I have no problem with, by the way, I could give you 10 off the top of my head that you go out and see their jobs. If they're willing to let you do that, to walk on to one of their patios or gardens
Yeah.
and investigate it firsthand and talk to the client about their experience,
Yeah.
that's an excellent sign that you've got a good, reputable landscaper. Because don't just base it on reviews, because like anybody can you can get your family to make reviews for you.
Yeah, yeah, fair
Anybody
point.
can get Google or Facebook reviews. It's never, you need to go on there and actually see the project for yourself.
Yeah, fair point. It's mad that you were saying that because I just think it's common sense. Like what we do is if a fella is looking to rent a house off us and he's a little bit dodgy, I say, hey, could be, in a lot of cases it's a woman, like, but
Yeah.
say, okay, let me go and have a look at the house that you're moving out from.
Yeah.
And whatever state that they're giving that house back
Yeah,
to
yeah.
me, is to the previous landlord, it's the
Tells you
state
everything
they're
you need to
giving one.
know. Yeah, yeah.
Simple as that. We've seen mad sort of stuff. Like, I remember we were buying a house before, and the agent who was selling us the house said, Joe, the tenant is not moving out until the absolute last minute.
Right.
So he said,
yeah.
I was like, well, look, I'm not going to tell the solicitor to send over the funds until I see the house is empty.
Yeah.
And we went into the house, and the house was destroyed, right? And the tenant got this idea that he'd start cleaning it while we were there. He destroyed the place
Yeah.
for months.
Yeah.
And he literally had a mop, and he's mopping the floors. It was just like, this windscreen being the whole thing, and he's just like cleaned this one thing. and we were like, would you stop cleaning because we need you to go?
Yeah,
because
yeah.
then we could confirm that the house was empty.
Yeah,
Give
yeah.
the instruction to the solicitor to release the money, and that was that. But yeah, you see that stuff. But yeah, a little bit of common sense, but it is only common sense then once someone explains it to you, isn't it?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, good stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Scott, listen, my man, thank you very much. I'm going to put this little video out on our page.
Right.
Congrats to you and what's the miss's name?
Monica.
Congrats to
Yeah.
Monica. She done a good day's graft there on Paddy's Day, and
Yeah.
just keep up the good work, man. This is the start of lots of good big 100k jobs, hopefully.
Cheers, Joe.